Olwaleero, AJ is honored to host an access to information training. And we are also honored to organize this launch for access to information guide. We believe in an active nation. AJ believes in a country where every citizen is active and actively participates in the development programs of the government. To information. The second thing I want to know from today is to understand both the proactive and the reactive frameworks that exist or that we have to utilize to access information. Because we believe there is no way you can participate in anything before you know about it. So we shall understand by the end of today those mediums, those strategies, those frameworks that allow us to access the relevant information that we need to participate, both in the government programs and even in our community efforts to improve our welfare. The third thing, by the end of today, we want to share knowledge. How are we accessing the information? Knowledge on how we are accessing the information, the challenges that we are facing. In accessing the information. And at the end of the day, we believe we shall launch the access to information guide that guides us all, that gives us the routes or the different ways through which we can access the information that we need. Today, we have 4 categories of participants. We have the community people that work as change agents in their respective villages. And we have journalists working in Kamuli, covering Busoga region. We have public officials, local government officials, and we also have the civil society representatives from the civil society organizations, CSOs working in Kamuli. And that is all what we shall be going through for today. Thank you.
Tweyanziza mukubengala edamani banange abatali ewulira nga lulimi olwali kozesa kamba bitiremu okuwa katono kati mbakobera kyabaira alitegeeza bene ngaba eje akobye nti ba mukisa okubanga n'abali kulira okubiriza olwekobano olujja okutongoza engeri gye tusobola okufunamu amawulire. Era mu ngeri n'endala eyo yakoba ati tulijjaja okuva wano nga tutegeire nti eiwango lya Uganda lituyikiriza okufuna amawulire gano nkani kyetweta mu lusoga nti constitution. Tuli walala nti buli kyetwenda constitution yetuyikiriza ofuna amawulire mu bulambulukufu bwabwo. Era yakoba nti twidda butegeera n'engeri engeri yetusobola ofunamu ki oba enjira de tubitamu okutuuka ku mawulire gano. Tuli walala? Yatukoba nti era twidda avaano nga tumaze ogaba n'amagezi. Amawulire gano tugafuna tutya? Era bizibu ki bye twagaana mu kunoonya ki amawulire gano? Era bwe baba tebakuwaire mawulire kiki kyokola ki kyofuna? Akomenkereiza nga atukobera bantu bandawulo ki abali wano. Just okujja ku record nti ni minisita ategeera nga tuliwo ba change agents nkani aba community owuube engalo bakulengera change agents tuwuube engalo those are change agents. Okay, abana mawulire abasinga ogaba amawulire gano tuwuube engalo. Minisita ategeere nti munumba tulimu. Abaviire mu bitongole ebindi nkani other NGOs wave to us. Twaweza team that is partnering with the AJ. Please wave. Afik. Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Your team is also here. Kale, tweyanziza. What ulikuiraku, I want to take this honor and invite Twaweza. As Twaweza is going to present, I take this opportunity to welcome the district Speaker, Honorable Mpalavule Charles Kisule, all the way from Magogo, and is representing the workers in the district.
Thank you so much, Daniel. The Minister of State for National Guidance, Honorable Kalyanga, the Chairman, LC5 Kamuli District Local Government. We are expecting the Resident District Commissioner for Kamuli District, the Chief Administrative Officer, Kamuli District Local Government, the members of the District Council present, and the technical team from the District Local Government. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. So I'm called Violet Alinda. I lead the team at Twaweza in the Uganda office. The first part has been explained in detail, the audience that we have before us. But just to speak a little more about Twaweza for purposes of helping everybody else know what we do, who we are, and why we do what we do. Honorable Minister, I would like to let you know that the team at Twaweza that is here today is twofold. When we told them that we are going to be working with the Ministry of ICT and Africa Freedom of Information Center to launch the Access to Information Guide for civil servants, we were lucky to have two of our colleagues join us from our headquarters in Dar es Salaam. So allow me ask Gaure and Jane. Gaure is our content manager, and Jane is our digital manager, to just wave, just for recognition. But also my team, the Kampala team, I'm sure we have interacted with them before. So, Honorable Minister, today we are here because we've worked with you together with the Africa Freedom of Information Center to produce this guide with your technical team, and that we'll be discussing later on and hearing more. So briefly, what are we as an organization? To the change agents, allow me use English so that I'm able to speak to everyone. I'll try to use the basic English in the simplest way I can. And where necessary, I'll jump into my, my Lusoga sometimes, Luvera Mwevitege, but I'll try to use some Luganda. So Twaweza is a Swahili word. It means we can make it happen. So the idea behind it is that we are all part and we all have a contribution to make for the development of our country, but also how we are governed as people. We are a regional civil society organization. We work in Uganda, we work in Kenya, and also we work in Tanzania. What do? We are researchers. We generate evidence. And the sole aim of this evidence is to use it for advocacy so that the decisions that are being made are informed by credible data. The decisions that are being made reflect the aspirations, the experiences, the opinions of citizens across the country or across the region, as the case might be. Our vision is an open society that is built on human impulse to make a difference, where information and ideas flow, citizens are engaging, government is open and responding to whatever citizen, meaning that we are really in for a setting or a situation where citizens and government are in dialogue all the time to find solutions that propel us for development. So our work in Uganda is implemented in collaboration with government agencies. I'll just cite a few examples. The Ministry of Water and Environment, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. We do a lot of work with the media. They are very important partners. And of course, civil society organizations, both at the national level and those that are based within the different local governments where we do our work. Our research work is twofold. The first part, we do have a high-frequency mobile phone survey, whose technical approach has been approved by the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology. We call it Sauti za Wananchi, or Voices of the Citizens. That platform has a panel of about 300 respondents across the country, meaning that every time you hear about our data being released, it's that we have reached every part of this country to collect that data. And the second part of our research is the participatory action research that we are currently implementing in only 3 districts of Kamuli, Namutumba, and Kole. And for us, these 2 strands of work actually reinforce one another. One gives us a more national perspective, but the other one works from the grassroots, from the communities, and the 2 reinforce one another. So briefly, I'd like to speak about this event, Honorable Minister, and give a bit of background. Because of our interest in seeing the role of information, how it facilitates citizen-government interaction, in 2018, we undertook a study with some professors in Makerere University. This study sought to understand the civil servants' perspectives on access to information and citizen participation. I'm sure many of us have heard about, especially if you're in the public domain, you've heard about conversation around, we have the Access to Information Act 2005 and the regulations 2011, but the implementation is not so good. So we wanted to understand, how do the civil servants feel about it? What are their experiences? What are the challenges? And what might be the gaps? So that study, we launched the findings in November 2019. But I just want to pick out 2 gaps that were identified that speak to why we are here. One was that there was limited awareness about the Access to Information Act 2005 among the public servants or the civil servants. And when we did that study, we interviewed people right from parliament, government agencies, the local governments, both municipality, the urban councils, the lower local councils, including the sub-counties. But across the board, there was limited awareness of this act and the regulations, which probably spoke to why there were limited efforts to ensure that citizens access information. But also related to that, at the time of this study, that most of the civil servants had not been trained or even had an orientation on this law, even when it had been around for so long. So to respond to address this gap, with the hope that it would contribute towards, improving how citizens access information, but also growing proactive disclosure, we have worked with the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance and AFIC to produce a civil servants guide on access to information. And so, of course, with that guide in place, that's why we are here today. So today is basically 2 parts. And we've been here since Sunday. We've been in the region since Sunday. We started off in Namutumba, where we were going through the same process. We had sessions with the civil servants for Namutumba local government. We also had a session with the civil society, the change agents, the media, because we believe that you need to have both the supply side, which is the civil service or the government, but also the demand side, who are the citizens that need the information, to be more or less at the same level in terms of the expectations, in terms of how they are going to use this tool to access more information. So we did the process in Namutumba, and yesterday, Honorable Minister, we had literally the whole public service team here. Both the elected officials and the technical team, they are with us the whole day. And we went through the same process. And today, as you've noticed, we have more of the communities being represented and the media. So today we have our event in 2 parts. The first part that will happen shortly is going to focus on a kind of a training or an orientation session for the participants. And then the second part will be the actual launch of the ATI guide. So that said, I would like really to thank the district local government leadership that have embraced the work that we do. Mr. Cow and your team and the leaders here, you're very open, you've been very flexible, but also very progressive in terms of how they would like to improve service delivery in Kamuli district local government. Of course, we are very indebted to the partners, our partners, especially the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. We do not take it for granted that you could set aside a whole day to come and be with us, given the kind of programs that you have and the busy schedules that you run. And of course, for us, I also want to thank our implementing partners, AJ and AFIC, that are in the driving seat to get us to this day, but also the media partners who are always working with us every time. I have an ask, or our aspiration, Honorable Minister, is that after this launch, we are looking forward that the ministry would be able to roll out this guide across the country to all local governments, so that there is greater proactive disclosure of information. Because one of the issues that we find is that sometimes we have to wait for people to come and ask for information. What would happen if we put this information out there as the law mandates us, such that people are informed? And why do we think this is important is because we believe that access to information is the single most important tool that will help us realize effective community mobilization, that will help us drive our aspiration as a country for mindset change, so that we realize inclusive development and inclusive governance. On this note, I would like to wish us all good deliberations and invite my colleague from AFIC to make some remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I can't do it in Usoga either, so I'll do it in English. The Minister of State for National Guidance, Honorable Kabyanga Jeffrey, the district leadership present here today, our partners Twaweza and AG, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I'm very happy to be here today to welcome you all to this essential training on access to information, and especially thanking everyone who has traveled far today to be with us. Public bodies play a significant role in ensuring that citizens have access to timely and accurate information, which is essential in terms of both governance and especially during these times in being able to make informed decisions about public health during COVID. Through information officers, citizens can file information requests and ask to understand how government programs are being implemented in their districts and on national level. By having access to information, they can participate in an informed manner to actively inform their elected officials of their needs and thereby seek to improve their lives. As such, access to information is a vital tool in developing public policy, promoting democratic governance and accountability and transparency, countering corruption and enabling participation in development activities, and also respecting human rights. So therefore, a free flow of information is essential in achieving the development agenda of Uganda. And without it, even objectives such as the Sustainable Development Goals won't be possible to attain. To further emphasize the importance of access to information, many other SDGs such as freedom of expression and media freedom, health and education are also deeply connected to the right to information. But to effectively carry out the mandate of ensuring that citizens are well informed and able to participate in government decision-making processes, public officials must keep in mind and advance efforts to influence the implementation of access to information, legal and policy frameworks, and the protection of fundamental freedoms. But this can only be expected from them if they adequately understand how to apply the legal provisions relating to right to information. And the same goes for civil society. We can't expect anyone to be carrying out these responsibilities if they're not properly briefed on the matter. Unfortunately, it's not always enough to have legal provisions in place, which is commendably the case here in Uganda, who, compared to many of its neighbors and African counterparts, has always been a frontrunner, being one of the first African countries to adopt an access to information law in 2005. But there are many challenges that affect proper implementation of the law in Uganda still, ranging from delays to respond to information requests, wide exemptions under the ATI Act, and a lack of reporting on the implementation of access to information, just to name a few. So it's through this lens that this capacity building session has been conceived. And I think I speak on behalf of both AFIC and Twaweza and its partners when I say that we're truly happy that you're all here, and we really hope and believe that this training will provide useful resources and tools for all participants in increasing knowledge on access to information in Uganda and creating a dialogue on how best to overcome challenges in regard to the implementation of the law. I invite you all to make this training an opportunity for networking and for sharing experiences with like-minded peers on how to implement access to information and collectively build a consensus on which strategies will work best for advancing access to information. So allow me once again to thank you all for prioritizing this engagement. Your active engagement and participation show that this training will be a platform for us all to engage and cooperate to ensure better service delivery, transparency, and accountability, and help everyone involved in the process to effectively participate. With your help, effective implementation of access to information in Uganda is both possible and within arm's reach. Thank you very much.
Tukubenga eddaamaanyi oluzungu mulubwaine oba muluwulire. Kale kangezeeku okubifunzafunza Madamu Violet mwene asoose kubeebaza mwena okwidda okubaawo, yeebaza abakulu bonabona abaidye. Mu ngeri n'endala eyo yatulaga nti Twaweza mwene ali Uganda ye bwe baabaire baliteekateeka omusomo guno. Baine ab'omu nsi ed'okuluya okuva e Dar es Salaam bona baida baakola ki? Baatweyunga ku naabo baakoze ki? Naabo baabalaze. Era yatukobera nti babaire mu kitundu kino okuva ku Lwesande baatandikira Namutumba nga bali kulingirira engeri nga balisomesa abanamawulire ab'ebyalo n'abakozi ba gavumenti engeri yetugabanamu amawulire gano. Yeebaziza district nkani staff ye Kamuli olw'engeri gye bakozeemu omulimu guno. Aye atukakayisa nti beene ekitongole kyaibwe ekya Twaweza omulimu gwakyo gwa kunoonenkereza, era bye banoonenkereiza bafuna amawulire amatuufu bagaweereza abo abasalirawo oba abakola enteekateeka y'eggwanga osalawo ekintu kyonna kyonna nga kye balisalirawo ku mawulire matuufu tiimafu. Era atukobeire nti balina enkola dda mirundi ebiri, balina ed'amasimu amasimu abantu 300, baba n'enkola eneyindi ey'okwida nga bagemagana n'abantu bebabuuza abo bayiramu. Era atukobye nti engeri gye twatuukamu kufuna kino kye tulifuna olwaleero kyava mu kunoonenkereza kwe baakola mu mwaka ogw'2018 nga bali walala ni Makerere University. Era okunoonenkereza okwo baakulonki baakwanda nga gwa-18 omwaka ogw'2019. Era baazuula ebintu bino ebibiri. Baazuula nti kituufu eiwango lyabagibwa ery'okulaga nti amawulire gano tulina ogafuna, aye abantu babaire tibaliisobola agafuna bulungi, neyo gye bali kweta Information Act eya 2005 omwaka ogw'2005. Eiwango eryo ki liriwo. Yatukoba nti n'abakozi baife aba gavumenti nkani ba civil servants bona babaire tibalyetaniire ino era nga tibaidi nga iteeka lino liriyo ne training eno gye tulimu olwaleero. Ye asabye aba ministry nti waye tulironkinga akatabo kano olwaleero aye ministry ya ICT etwambe okutambuza endagiriro eno ey'engeri amawulire yegatambulamu mu district donna eda Uganda. Yakomenkereza nga abeebaza waire mwena amaze yayeta nzaayo olumaze mumukubire engalo mwena afuna edidde. Bwe twajja mu Mr. Bo. Mr. Bo olwidye atukobeire engeri bwe tuba tusobola okutuukirira n'okufuna amawulire gano, engeri gye gatwambamu. Akobye gamalawo obugubuze ab'amawulire no. Yakomenkereza nga abeebaza mwena okwerekereza okulima engeri amaadi gye gali kugwaku, okujja mu nkiiko edindi okwekobo mu nkiiko edindi ediri eyo. Mwasalawo olunaku luno mwaluwa ekitiisa edengalo lijje ewa Mr. Bo. Ebyo byakoze ki? Byatukobye. Buti bwenkomenkereza ekyo bw'owulira ebigambo ebingi weeno otandika otengeeta naddala nga biri mu mixture y'oluzungu n'olusoga. Ekivaamu otandika okwebuuza oti kayiri bajja kundikiza wa luzungu mwereerebbe ekiri kwira ku ssaawa eno kyakunwa cyayi. Aye nga tulijanwa cyayi oyo tutya. Ndisaba tuleke abali mu maiso wano batukulembere. Cyayi oyo tujamunwa bwe tukola tuli walala. Eriyo kye beeta walking tea. Tujja kunwanga cyayi bwe tukola ki? Bwe tukola tulibala ebiseera. Tuli walala baganda bange. So kansabe nti saaleere yensabye nkobye Katonda idaabe wano. So Katonda mulala oyo amaze n'otukuza ki? Ebyokunwa district speaker tuliidinga ku luja wale buli amala afuna kikopo ngayira wano bwe tunaaba tuwaireyo nga ndeta twaheza nga tutandika okutambula tweyongereyo. Ekiri kwiraku n'ekyo banange tuli walala. Speaker tukulembere nikaawo engeri Speaker gyotera otyama kunaabakulu obuuza ku mukulu mwino oba tunaasobola okugiira walala awo tutyo. Mwene waaba amazze oidiifu abato bato tutyosembera eri abakulu. Buti awo bali kwogera lulimi lwa honorable, how are you honorable? Buti nze nandituuseeyo. Kale tukulembere tuidasi tukatebo. Madam Commissioner and Violet, we join. Bananga, it's tea time.